everybody, it is Steve, your friendly neighborhood lawn gnome. Welcome back to another video over here on That's Comical, and if you're watching and it happens to be a Wednesday, happy new comic book day. Well, everybody, it is 2026, and as we are now officially on the Avengers Doomsday countdown train, it is of course very important to make sure that we take some time out of that anticipated wait and talk about all of the new MCU projects and non-MCU projects that are coming out throughout the entire year as we patiently wait for the next big screen experience that we are going to have featuring Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And today we're going to talk about the newest addition to the MCU small screen streaming service shows over at Disney+, and that, of course, is Wonder Man, starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and the return of Ben Kingsley as Trevor, who, of course, we all remember from Iron Man 3. That is, of course, if you are old enough to remember Iron Man 3. But anyway, this was a show that I really couldn't make heads or tails out of. I didn't really understand what it was supposed to be, because Wonder Man is a very interesting character in the world of Marvel Comics. He's not really on everybody's radar. He's not very much beloved. He's had his own comic, but he never really was able to carry a title as strong as, let's say, a Captain America or a Spider-Man. But nonetheless, he's been there, and we have mostly seen him in the last couple of decades in the Avengers team books as a member, most of the time, as the Avengers West Coast lineup, which also featured characters like War Machine and Spider-Woman and even U.S. Agent. So, the trailer was interesting. The fact that it was a Hollywood and entertainment-based kind of story, possibly somewhat of a meta kind of show, but needless to say, whether good, bad, or indifferent, for the purposes of making reviews here on this channel, and of course getting together with my good friend Gabby at the beginning of every single year to recap the MCU's year from the past, to talk about the previous MCU year, I had to give Wonder Man a shot. It was only 8 episodes. They sent them out at the same time, just like they did with Ironheart back in 2025. And it was actually a pretty darn good show. But a darn good show as far as MCU? No. A good show in general? Yes. The acting was solid. The dynamics between Simon Williams, aka Wonder Man, and of course Trevor, who of course was the actor that played the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, was wonderful. I loved the comedy, I loved the banter, I loved the drama, but I also loved the story that each of them had, and this show was not necessarily a show to be meta or to be funny. It was a very interesting premise, and I think that that's the reason why it has gotten numerous positive reviews, not just from critics, but by people who actually watched the show. And that was the fact that just because you have superpowers in an MCU world does not mean you have to be a superhero. And that is the story of Simon Williams in Wonder Man. He is just a guy that fell in love with film, thanks to his father taking him to see the original Wonder Man movie in the 1980s, for him being told by his dad, you are a talented actor and you can be on the big screen one day, and that's all he wanted to do. We did get one single episode that featured a different person who happened to be someone with superpowers, found by Josh Gad of all people, and basically we saw this one guy who went by the alias of the Doorman to see his rise and fall in fame, and then see what would eventually create a super-powered metahuman ban in Hollywood filmmaking. And that's where Simon Williams comes in. He's a guy that really wants to be an actor, but he's very fearful about the fact that he actually does have superpowers. And Trevor, knowing what he had done, was actually hired by the top secret government organization called Damage Control, which is actually a Marvel Comics reference, to keep tabs on this guy and eventually bring him in for questioning and possibly to justice. So that's basically what the show of Wonder Man is. I thought that it was very well paced, I thought that it was very well acted, and I really did enjoy the story. I don't think that we will see Simon Williams become an actual superhero in the MCU world and take on characters like Doctor Doom or possibly additional cosmic beings, because Wonder Man happens to be a very powerful metahuman. But the other question is going to be, will this show have enough impact to actually get a season 2? I'm not exactly sure, even though the show did end on a very interesting kind of cliffhanger, but I actually have to say, Marvel, you surprised me with a very well-done show. Now, granted, as someone who has watched many shows about actors in Hollywood, if I had to choose between watching Wonder Man and a show like, oh, I don't know, Entourage, I'd probably watch Entourage because that's more my speed. But I will give so much credit to the creators of the MCU because we have been seeing a lot of negativity on the big screen and the small screen. I'm personally finding diamonds in the rough when it comes to going to see some of these brand new MCU movies, but when it comes to me and sitting down to watch some of these streaming shows on the small screen, it has been a rarity where I've actually said I really did enjoy this show. And I am just hoping that the rest of the MCU TV shows that we get this year are going to be just as big of a surprise. I mean, I know that we are getting, God willing, the second season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, God willing, the second season of X-Men 97, but the one show that I'm actually really excited about is not even an MCU show at all, and it's Spider Noir that's going to be on Amazon Prime, featuring Nicolas Cage and his character that was portrayed in the animated sensation Into the Spider-Verse, which is hopefully going to become a trilogy very, very soon. We're all still waiting. I think more people are waiting for Beyond the Spider-Verse more so than they are Avengers Doomsday, and I'm with them every step of the way. And knowing that Nicolas Cage is going to actually give us a live-action version of this character on an Amazon Prime show makes me personally very excited. So I don't think that the superhero fatigue is taking over me just yet. But I'm definitely going to say that Wonder Man was a very big surprise. Just expect the unexpected with this show. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Please leave your comments in the box below and let me know if you saw Wonder Man. What are your thoughts on Wonder Man? Did you enjoy it? Did you not like it at all? And I will see you in the next one.